Hi there.
And welcome to a review a lot of you have been waiting for. When you think of Beretta, especially the 92 series, you think of a few things. Iconic action movies from the 80s and 90s.
Didn't I tell you to wait for me?
Thanks for the advice.
Poorly maintained military sidearms that people loved or hated. Or, of course,
Spaghetti!
for years, Beretta was getting cult love from a group of people we didn't understand, and undeserved hate from the rest of us. Until Beretta lost a contract, Wilson Combat brought back the 92G Brigadier with their own spin on it, making it a modern gun, and then had another breakthrough design with the Centurion model. Of course, with the help of Ernest Langdon. And with that success, he started his own company, Langdon Tactical. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at how Beretta went from downcast to desired. With this pistol, the 92G LTT, which became a staple in American culture, like pizza, mozzarella sticks, Italian bread, and spaghetti. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way. Your overall length is 8.4 inches. Your overall height is 5.4 inches. Your overall width is 1.5 inches. Your barrel length is 4.7 inches, and your sight radius is 6.4 inches. The Beretta 92 Elite LTT, loaded with 18 rounds of Federal 124 grain HST plus P, weighs in at 2 pounds 9.9 ounces. Plussed up for 19 rounds is 2 pounds 10.3 ounces, and with a Surefire X300 UB 1000 lumen light, weighs in at 2 pounds 14.6 ounces. With the garbage tier 92S 15 round magazines it came with, it weighs in at 2 pounds 9 ounces even. With 15 rounds of the same 124 plus P HST, plus up to 16 rounds is 2 pounds 9.4 ounces, and with the same Surefire light is 2 pounds 13.7 ounces. Well, this is going to be fun. We're going to talk about our flush fit magazine capacities. If you're in a banned state that limits it to 10 rounds, you'll have 10 rounds. If you're in Colorado, you'll have 15 rounds. And based on when you bought your Beretta LTT, it'll come with garbage tier.
You're a butt-fucking quitter.
92S magazines, which feed but don't drop free. They're absolute trash. Garbage. Boo. Trash. Beretta also makes 17 rounders, which are difficult to load. There are also Mekgar 18 rounders, which is what I highly recommend, and Langdon themselves sells them. I don't know why they didn't order enough to sell with the gun from the factory. You'll also have Mekgar 20 rounders. The Mekgars are the easiest to load and they function so smoothly. Then there's the Beretta 20 rounder, or if you absolutely need to, 30 rounds of Justice. Good luck loading them. Field strip, very, very easy. All you have to do, you don't have to unload the slide, you can just do it like that, but what I prefer to do is cock the hammer and pull it back just a little bit, and then push on this button here and rotate the lever down. There you go. You have your Beretta M9 A1 frame, the best frame. You have a stainless steel guide rod, like the good Lord intended, with a chrome silicone spring which is good. Then you have your Beretta stainless steel 4.7 inch barrel with a nice feed lip. It's actually been given some attention and polish. And it has a recessed crown, not a dish crown, which is standard on most guns nowadays. I believe currently only the Glock Gen 5 barrels and this barrel have recessed crowns, and what I mean by that is it's flat, dives in, and it's flat again. Which is funny because if you send this in to Langdon to get worked on, they do a dish crown if you opt for it. This is an absolute carbon magnet, and barrel crowns like this, I don't know that I like. An easy way to see if a barrel's crowned properly is with a dish crown, and it'll make a nice, beautiful star pattern on the front of the gun with the burnt powder. So you can look at it happily and say, wow, that barrel's crowned right. This gun's accurate. These, on the other hand, it gives it a different pitch because of the barrel length and how this is crowned. I don't know that this negatively affects accuracy. It does protect the rifling, but I don't know. It's definitely not my preferred crown. And then when you send it in, they do the dish crown, which tells me that's what it should probably have in the first place. You have your Beretta M9A3 or Vertex slide, which is good because Beretta has finally settled on a slide. Those longtime Beretta owners understand what I'm saying, because good luck finding sights for your favorite Berettas. It is literally a crapshoot which Berettas they make Trijicon HDs for, and I'll give you a little tool that'll help you later. It ain't this one. Cough, cough, Trijicon. But in Trijicon's defense, Beretta didn't really standardize slides until recently. The 92X series uses this, and it looks like they're going to produce the Brigadier slide. So all of your new Beretta offerings, including this pistol and the Centurion, are going to use the M9A3 slide, which you can tell because it's a flat top, or the Vertex quote-unquote slide. I usually don't do this, but while we're here, this finish is flaking already in multiple locations, and it looks okay on the outside, but you can tell like the laser engraving is just garbage tier. I don't know who did this, but they did a bad job, and you can tell they recoded it with the same, how do you say that? Brunitin, Brunitin finish, I hope. But the laser engraving is just crap. This is garbage up here in the top right. It's very inconsistent. So the finish, there's some missing here on the bottom of the serrations as well. Just not great. You'll also notice quite a few machine marks on the breech face and the hood up here, which is pretty interesting. But the harder you look at the Beretta on the slide specifically, the more you'll find small issues. So that is a thing. I know some people like the Beretta finish. I don't. I think it's not that solid. I definitely prefer the Wilson Combat finish. It's much better. All right, putting it back together. Barrel dropped in there nice and easy. By the way, little side note, your first locking block is going to be hand fitted from Langdon Tactical. So the first one that you get is going to be the smoothest one, and unless you have that done again when you buy a replacement, then it's going to be a little more stiff and it's going to have to wear in a little bit. So just be warned.
Thanks for the advice.
Recoil spring assembly goes in nice and easy, as you saw while I was talking, and putting the slide back on the frame, very easy. All right, on to ergonomics, features, trigger, and sights. There's a lot to cover, so as far as the features go, I'm gonna go top down. As far as the ergonomics are concerned, this is a M9A1 frame, so it has not the Vertex frame. Some of you really, really like the Vertex frame. Some of you say, get the Vertex frame and then put the rubber overlay over it to give you this frame feel in hand. I really prefer this frame. It's not that I don't like the Vertex frame. I've shot the M9A3 just fine, but M9A1 frame for some reason just feels really good. I like the backstrap checkering and the way they did these slimline grip panels. So the ergonomics are pretty solid. I do not like the fact that they don't know how to run checkering down the whole front of the gun for these. I think they're doing it on models now, but as far as these go, they just feel like your pinky doesn't exist, which makes me really frustrated. But they were this close to greatness and shied away from it. Very sad. All right, top down, M9A3 slide dovetail sights. I have the Spartan front sight and the stock rear sight, which means it's all black. I am not a fan of the stock fiber optic front sights. I wish these were Trijicon HDs. Cough, cough. We covered the M9A3 and Vertex slide. Now that it's standardized, hopefully some people step up and start making certain things for it. You also have front and rear cocking serrations, which is good. And the stainless barrel, which I don't think matters, and they didn't care too much when they finished. It's a very, very nice smooth finish to right there. And then it's really not that great all the way back. It looks like it has tool marks and stuff on it all the way back. And you can see the rolls in the barrel, which is not indicative of good work. And I know some of you are gonna say, that's as far as the slide goes back. Oh, just kidding. It goes past that part, so that's not what it's from. This is a G model, so 92G LTT, which means it's a decock only. It does have the Elite hammer and not the short reset hammer. It also has a steel guide rod, as we talked about before, like the good Lord intended. Moving down, we're gonna see some more finish issues as we talk about the light rail that's on the M9A1 frame. One of my biggest criticisms of Beretta was that they didn't put that on there, and then when they brought out the M9A1, it had the light rail, which is good. It has a 1913 key, so it'll fit all your modern lights. And it's a full-size gun, so you're not gonna run out of lights to put on it. The trigger guard is radiused a little bit, but you know, just smooth. They deburred the edges essentially, and then there's not any texture up here. It's nice and smooth. So the whole trigger guard's been radiused and deburred. You have a metal trigger, which is preferable, and your extended or enlarged, whatever you want to call it, magazine release, which is good because that's my preferred one. I don't like the little circle ones. They leave little donuts on my thumb. You also have your Lightning Tactical. I think these are made by VZ grips, almost positive, and they're the slimline grips, so they're curvy, just like Valentina Nappy. Oh! And they fit your hand really, really well. It definitely makes this grip feel very nice. I really like this texture, and the overall aesthetic is pretty good. I like these screws as well. Moving down, you have a lanyard delete, so you're not giving your hand nerve damage during reloads. And there is a flared magazine well. I don't really knock the finish on the magazine well, and while it is flared, it's not massively flared, so on occasion you'll still hit it. It's not like a giant magazine well flare, but the fact that they did it makes me happy because it's better than just having a straight shot in there. So they took some time and made some effort to do that. And quite frankly, it works just fine. Running this gun's very easy. All right, on to trigger and sights. This is the nicest double action, single action trigger I have in my inventory currently. This is very, very smooth double action pull. Somewhere in the 7 to 8 pound range, and there is no stacking. It's just smooth. And it's very consistent all the way through. Some other pistols I've had and others that I've fired are either inconsistent, where they start heavier and then accelerate as the pull progresses, or they stack really, really bad. This doesn't happen with this trigger. Single action, very short and precise, a little bit of take up, and a nice, beautiful, exactly how a Beretta trigger should break, clean break. Probably the closest. I know some people would want to say SSAE, but this is, the break is more like a worn-in SSA. Very, very gorgeous single action. I love this. Transitioning from a rifle to this is so effortless. It's just so fluid, it's beautiful. So at the end of the day, how do I feel about it? I'm glad that I was able to get one of these.
Welcome to the party, pal!
And I didn't listen to influencers because I think my standards would have been a lot higher. And you always get the normal fluff from influencers. Although there were a lot of you in the comments that stayed on me about getting this one exactly. And to be honest with you, the aesthetics for me, for this gun, are not my preference. I don't like stainless steel and black. I actually would prefer a 92G Brig Tac all black with black grips, or a Sentak the same way. For this gun, I definitely prefer a black trigger, black barrel, and black screws. But it's grown on me. And what we're looking at is a gun that solved a lot of problems for Beretta, in my estimation. And they did it in one package. You got night sight capability, a light rail, grips and controls that make sense, as well as a phenomenal trigger. I will say the first step in the right direction from Beretta was the M9A3. The M9A1 was an advancement, but the M9A3 is what the M9A1 should have been. And I feel like if Beretta had given the Marines the M9A3, we wouldn't be in this situation we're in, where we're now running a P320. The enhancements to the trigger, the light rail, the night sights, the threaded barrel, all of the capabilities that the M9A3 gives you. And honestly, the M9A3 triggers out of the box are not that bad at all, especially when compared to a rack grade M9 or an M9A1. You also had the frustration with Beretta having all these different cut slides, and you can only get Trijicon HDs for a 90-2, which is essentially a dead gun. You can't get those anymore. You can't get proper sights for a 92A1 and all this other mess, and good luck finding sights for a Brigadier slide. And for this slide, I can only get the bright and tough night sights. I can't get HDs. I know most of you are rolling your eyes by now that I've said it 3 times. I'm just trying to get Trijicon to get on board, because the Trijicon HDs are my favorite night sight. This gun coming along onto the market, along with the Wilson Combat offerings, really gave us a look into what Beretta is capable of. And some of you out there hate Berettas, and I understand, because you had garbage to your service pistols, and I've had both good and bad examples of M9s throughout my career. What I'll tell you though is the civilian variants are usually much better, and they care about them a little more when they make them. This is a perfect example of it. I've shot literally everything through it. I've shot 115s, 124 ball, 124 plus P, HSTs, 127 plus P plus, 147s. I've fired every 9mm round in brass that I would feasibly shoot, and I don't shoot 115s, but you know, the ammo crisis. And I quickly put 1,100 rounds through this gun. The only reason it's not 1,500 rounds is because I told myself to slow down and I shot other guns. This thing is so easy to shoot. For me, I recommend this to people that are experts or intermediate shooters. I don't recommend this gun to a new shooter, because it's so good and it's going to set the bar so high that it's going to be difficult to train them on other guns after someone gets used to this trigger. If it's the only gun you're ever going to have, buy once, cry once, never get another pistol, all day long. As far as applications for this, easy self-defense, home defense, range competition use, just messing around. Or if you want to spend a lot of money on a duty gun, which some people absolutely do, then it'd be a good duty gun.
I'm still here, asshole! What do you only do, kids? Shut up!
As far as like military use, and by that I mean like a contractor buying one of these and taking it over there, I don't know. The recoil spring feels heavy enough, and this is the 13-pound hammer spring that's in here. I don't know. I feel like the trigger's just a little too light, and I don't know how it would handle lots of sand. I did shoot it in the rain, and it did get a little gritty sand at my range, but honestly, I haven't really put this thing through serious hard use. I know there's some guys that work security. There's a dude on Instagram that works private security, and he has a Centurion version with a red dot on top of it. But pretty much everything other than like serious military use, you'd probably be fine in. You can concealed carry it if you're a sadist, because it is a little on the heavy side, but this grip is going to take you to task. Also, with the standardization of the Vertec /M9A3 slide, you're going to see a lot more holsters come to market, so this is a good option for that. And where do I see myself with Beretta in the future? I'm definitely going to get an M9A3 or M9A4. That's definitely in the works. I'm probably going to get a threaded barrel for this. I've also heard a rumor that these things are pretty good suppressed. Take it away, Gun Dae. I'm definitely getting a Wilson Combat Brigadier Tactical. I want a Centurion, but the jury's out whether it'll be a 92X or a LTT Centurion, because I have other things on the docket, like night vision and more suppressors. But we'll see. I'm trying to be more responsible and not get carried away. At the end of the day, if you're gonna get one of these, get the Mekgar magazines, both the 18s and the 20 rounders. You'll thank me later. Definitely get a good pistol light for it, and definitely get the night sights for it. This model does have, I know some of you are gonna ask and I forgot to talk about it, this is the drop-in trigger kit. This isn't NP3'd, so it does have the trigger kit in it, but it doesn't have their super duper high tier, pay way more money trigger in it. It's got the first, I'm pretty sure it's just a drop-in trigger kit. This is what's in my box, so they did that. But ultimately, this is a phenomenal pistol. I'm very, very happy I have it. Definitely gonna keep it, and you'll be seeing more of it in the future. I highly recommend it, but not to a novice, not to a first-time shooter. But again, if you're gonna buy your girlfriend a gun and the Beretta fits are the best and this is the only thing she's ever gonna touch, or you're a dude and you're like, I just need a pistol, but I want it to be really, really nice, sure, get this one. And it's a metal frame gun, you'll be well served with it. But yeah, thank you to everybody in the comments that pushed me to get it. Very, very happy with it. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care out there. All right, I'm going to the store. You guys need anything? All right, behave while I'm gone. Gotta save some electricity here. And no fighting, you two. What did I say?